The SEC tool has been developed for the stabilization of crashed vehicles. Applications. It is used for four-wheel, side, and roof stabilizations. The tool stabilizes and re-stabilizes automatically. It prevents unintentional vehicle movement and keeps the work area completely free of obstacles. The system is composed of two cases containing the following elements: 4 stabilizers, getter chocks, and 4 height extenders. Four-wheel stabilization. For four-wheel stabilization, both cases are required. First, place the chocks on the rear wheels to prevent any horizontal displacement of the vehicle. Next, position the 4 stabilizers correctly. They are placed under the vehicle in the areas shown in the image, parallel to the ground. We touch the chassis base to ensure we are not placing the SEC on any area containing plastic components. Positioning the SEC under the vehicle keeps the entire working area completely free of obstacles. Now we move the manual platform until it reaches the chassis base. Finally, activate the stabilizer by moving the trigger to the ON position, as shown in the image. Once all 4 devices are activated, the vehicle is then stabilized. Operating principle for four-wheel stabilization. When the device is activated, SEC records the load supported by the vehicle's shock absorbers at that precise moment. If, after activation, the vehicle receives additional load, SEC overrides the shock absorber function, preventing any downward displacement of the vehicle. SEC neutralizes the shock absorber function. The vehicle does not move. If the vehicle, on the contrary, loses load, SEC accompanies the shock absorber in its upward vertical movement. At that moment, SEC automatically re-stabilizes the vehicle, establishing a new reference load supported by the shock absorbers. Operational scenarios during the extrication process. Case 1. Removal of the driver's door. A loss of load is detected, in this case, the door. The device follows the shock absorber in its upward movement and automatically re-stabilizes the vehicle, registering the new reference load. Example 2. A firefighter climbs onto the vehicle. An increase in load is detected. Actually, the firefighter's weight. SEC overrides the shock absorber, preventing compression and any downward displacement. Case 3. A firefighter steps off the vehicle. A loss of load is detected. However, the reference load is not lost. SEC prevents any vertical displacement. The vehicle does not move. Case 4. Roof removal. Again, a loss of the reference load is detected. SEC accompanies the shock absorber upwards and re-stabilizes the vehicle. Vehicle lateral stabilization. System installation. For lateral stabilization, a single case is needed. That is, 2 stabilizers. We begin by correctly positioning the 2 devices under the A pillar and C pillar. Placement under the A pillar, as shown in the image. Then the C pillar at the rear of the vehicle. Chocks are used to ensure the stabilizer and the pillars are parallel, as shown. Next, move the manual platform to the proximity of the pillar. Activate the system by placing the trigger in the on position. The system is now operational. Repeat the process for the C pillar. Both pillars can be activated simultaneously. In the lateral stabilization position, the SEC works jointly with the struts. After installing and activating the SEC units on the pillars, as a final step, the wheel side of the vehicle is shored using 1 or 2 struts, depending on operational criteria and the condition of the vehicle. Operating principle for lateral stabilization. It becomes evident that the vehicle is especially unstable in this position. The car rests on its narrowest surface, and its center of gravity is very high. The objective of this stabilization is therefore to increase the support base and eliminate oscillation. We begin by installing and activating SEC on pillars A and C to generate a larger support base on the unstable side of the vehicle. Next, struts are installed at the rear of the vehicle. Finally, a controlled compression is applied to ensure the entire assembly, SEC, vehicle, and strut, remains completely rigid. At this moment, SEC supports the main load of the assembly. Roof stabilization. System installation. For roof stabilization, one case with 2 stabilizers is required. Stabilizers are positioned under the longitudinal beams. Chocks are also used to align the stabilizer and the beam in parallel. Move the manual platform toward the beam. Activate the system by moving the trigger to on, as shown. The system is now operational. Repeat the same process on the opposite beam. Operating principle for roof stabilization. In this position, the vehicle rests on a reduced surface that acts as a pivot, promoting oscillation. The objective is therefore to increase the support base and eliminate any lever-type movement. Installing and activating the device in this stabilization creates a larger support base that stabilizes the unstable side of the vehicle and eliminates the lever effect. The SEC, vehicle, and ground form a rigid, compact assembly. SEC compression after use. After use, the tool must return to its initial position. It must be compressed to be operational for the next deployment. First, place the trigger in the off-F position. Next, unlock the rack by pressing the lower part of the latch as shown. Then lower the manual platform. One hand controls the handle for smooth descent, while the other presses the 2 lateral locking mechanisms in the direction of the green arrows. Finally, fold the automatic platform using the handles shown, pushing firmly inward. Physical characteristics of the SEC stabilizer. Compressed height, 135 millimeters. Each device weighs 4.2 kilograms. Height with manual platform deployed, 220 millimeters. Total height with manual and automatic platforms deployed, 285 millimeters. Maximum working load per device, 843 kilograms. Braking load occurs at 100 kilograms. The SEC system is a development by Alive and Safe, made by firefighters for firefighters. Contact and distribution, Rug Export. Thank you for your attention. We hope this presentation has been of interest.